There is a particular kind of exhaustion that has nothing to do with sleep. It comes from living reactively, from being pulled by habit, by distraction, by the quiet fear of choosing something and being wrong. Most of us do not drift because we are weak. We drift because no one taught us that choosing is a practice. That clarity is not a gift, it is something built. Brick by brick, breath by breath, decision by decision. The Stoics knew this, not as philosophy, as survival. The weight you didn't know you were carrying. Every morning, something ancient happens. You open your eyes. The world offers you a blank page, and then almost immediately the old ink bleeds through. Yesterday's failures, last year's regrets, words said in rooms you no longer enter, silences you never broke. You believe you are starting fresh, but the mind carries what the hands have long put down. Epictetus wrote that we are disturbed not by things themselves, but by the stories we attach to them. And so the question is not, what happened to you? The question is, which story are you still living inside? The past does not announce itself. It does not knock. It simply shapes the way you hesitate before speaking, the way you shrink before a door that might open, the way you call your own fear realism. Marcus Aurelius said, "What stands in the way becomes the way." But first, you must see the wall. You must name it. You must stop decorating it and calling it home. Busyness is the most elegant form of avoidance. To-do lists, deadlines, noise, all of it movement. None of it arrival. True momentum does not begin with action. It begins with clearing. Seneca reminded us that our days are finite and we spend them as though they are endless. To carry what is truly over is to spend the only currency that cannot be replenished: presence. So begin there, not with a plan, with an honest inventory. What chapter is closed? What wound have you revisited so many times it has become a home rather than a memory? Name it, acknowledge it, and then with the quiet dignity the Stoics practiced, release it. Not because it didn't matter, but because you do, the word that carries you. Once the weight is set down, something surprising happens. There is space, and into that space, a question arrives. Who are you becoming? Not what do you want to achieve, not what do you want others to see, but who in the quiet moments, in the difficult rooms, in the choices no one witnesses are you choosing to be? The Stoics taught that identity precedes action. Goals are written on paper. Character is written in repetition. You can set 100 intentions and still falter if the energy behind them is borrowed, scattered, or afraid. Choose a word. A single word that lives beneath all your goals, like a root system beneath a forest. Discipline, patience, presence, courage. This word is not a slogan. It is a compass. When the path grows uncertain, and it will return to the word, let it ask you, is this who I said I was becoming? That question, asked daily, is more powerful than any strategy. The invisible architecture. Vision without structure is poetry without a page. Beautiful, formless, gone. The Stoics did not simply aspire. They built systems, daily rituals, evening reflections, morning intentions, not because they lacked trust in themselves, but because they understood the mind. The mind is not a machine, it is a garden. And gardens require structure as much as they require rain. Marcus Aurelius wrote each night, not for publication, for calibration. To ask, did I act in accordance with what I believe? Where did I drift? Where did I hold? This is not perfectionism. This is architecture. The invisible framework that turns fleeting energy into something that endures. Design your days the way you would design a sacred space. Remove what distracts. Invite what deepens. Curate what enters the information, the voices, the noise, with the same care you would give to something precious. Because attention is precious. It is, in fact, the only thing that is entirely yours. The gift of imperfection. Here is what no one tells you about mastery. It is built in the ugly middle, not in the polished outcome, not in the moment of arrival, but in the 1,000 imperfect attempts that no one applauds. The fear of doing something wrong keeps more potential buried than failure ever could. Perfectionism is not a high standard. It is a locked door, with the key hidden inside the thing you're afraid to try. Seneca observed that excellence belongs not to the grand gesture, but to the diligent effort. Each stumble is data. Each wrong turn, a map of where not to go next time. The Stoics did not seek a life without error. They sought a life where error was met with reflection rather than shame, with adjustment rather than collapse. Begin imperfectly, continue imperfectly, and watch how the extraordinary quietly assembles itself from the ruins of your attempts. Feel it before you live it. The mind does not distinguish between what is vividly imagined and what has already occurred. This is not mysticism, this is neuroscience. And the Stoics practiced it long before the language existed to name it. They called it premeditatio, the art of living the difficulty in advance, so that when it arrives, it finds you already acquainted. Do not only imagine the destination. Feel the friction of the path, the early mornings, the moments of doubt, the quiet victories no one sees. Feel the version of yourself who chose discipline when comfort was closer. Inhabit that version now, in the mind, in the body, in the breath, and you will find that when the moment comes in reality, something in you already knows what to do. Vision, deeply felt, becomes the invisible guide for every choice that follows. Resistance is the map. Every time something feels difficult, pay attention. Not to retreat, but to understand. Resistance is not a wall, it is a sign. It marks the edges of what you have not yet become. The discomfort of a difficult conversation, the hesitation before a necessary risk, the pull toward the familiar when the unfamiliar holds everything you need. These are not weaknesses. They are the geography of your growth. Marcus Aurelius understood that challenges are not punishments. They are instruments of refinement. Each time you act despite the pull of avoidance, something shifts inside you. Not suddenly, not dramatically, but irrevocably. Fear, met with deliberate action, does not disappear. It transforms into familiarity, into competence, into the quiet confidence of someone who has been tested and chosen to continue. The power of being witnessed. There is a particular kind of strength that grows only in the presence of others. Not performance, not approval seeking, but the ancient alchemy of accountability, the way a commitment shared becomes more real, more binding, more alive. The Stoics were not solitary philosophers locked in private towers. They wrote letters, they sought teachers, they built communities of practice. Marcus Aurelius had Epictetus. Seneca had correspondence. Because even the wisest mind needs a mirror. Choose your mirrors carefully. Not those who reflect what you want to see, but those who reflect who you are capable of becoming. Those who ask the harder question. Those who hold the standard, even when you lower it. In that circle, small progress becomes significant. Each step, witnessed, compounds in ways that solitary effort cannot. The life that waits. Every choice you make is a quiet act of architecture. You are not simply living a life, you are building one. And the materials are not dramatic. They are daily. The pause before the reaction. The word chosen over the impulse. The discipline practiced in the ordinary moment. The past released with grace. The vision felt before it is lived. The discomfort entered with courage. This is the path the Stoics described. Not grand, not loud, not arrived at in a single revelation, but assembled carefully, deliberately, quietly, in the space between who you were yesterday and who you are choosing to become. Begin there.